Sports is getting nothing almost. Agriculture, water, no money is being spent. Therefore, there is a wide spectrum where you can spend money and you can make a difference. But the focus of everybody is on two aspects only, health and education. And believe me, these are the two aspects which the private sector should not be spending, the government should be taking care of. These are the two sectors where government should be committed and says that education to all should be free, that the medical care to the people who cannot afford should be free. And these are the two sectors which are getting subsidized by the private sector. And the other sectors where you really need money in sustainability and environment, it's not happening. The mindset is very bad. The mindset of CSR spend is not there today. If you look at any organization, including mine organization, how do we spend money on CSR? It's very ad hoc. It's very individualistic, and which is very donation-based. There is no mindset of having a philosophy of CSR spend. There is no mindset of having a project. There's no mindset of having an impact and selecting a right partner to deliver the CSR. So this needs to change very dramatically. You need to professionalize the entire process, because we are talking about not less than 20,000 crores to be spent in 1 year, and every year that's the gap of 20,000 crore. So if you combine the CSR spend that will happen in a year, it will happen more than 60,000 crores of CSR spend will happen every year. And that money should make a difference in the lives of the people. There are different approaches to CSR. I will just give you some of these. One is linked to your operations, to your strategy. A lot of companies doing it. There is nothing wrong with that. Companies like Hindustan Lever are openly saying that all CSR spend is linked to our strategy. Tobacco companies are doing that. Their CSR is linked to their operations and strategy and their sustainability and survival. Coke and Pepsi does that in terms of water replacement. Their strategy is also to operation strategy. There's nothing wrong to that. As long as the benefits accrue to the community, as long as there is a protection to the environment, I have no qualms about that. Dealing from business, purely philanthropy. I don't want to be part of my business. I want to just donate. I want to create something differently. I am going to spend CSR irrespective whether it impacts my business or not. That's the another study. Then there are people who will address local issues, like if it is a steel company, around it they will do. If it is a tobacco company, it will do around in the raising where the tobacco is grown. So those are the activities they will do. Others will go on a national issues of these countries, education, health, environment, and spend on the national issues. External support in CSR actually came because of the pressure, not by the government, but by the consumers. In US, the entire pressure came through consumers and stakeholders. Stakeholders are very, very clear. They are going to support companies which have a triple balance sheet, where they focus on ethical sales, they focus on social responsibilities. In India, that type of approach has not yet come. But a lot of CSR activity has come through some type of legislation that is happening globally. The Millennium Goal is one. After the Millennium Goal came in, there were metrics defined. They were showing that how we want to achieve in child mortality and what we want to achieve and how it should be done. So there has been pressure. India is a country of not doing things voluntarily. India is a country of doing things by regulation, by compliance. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality is. And therefore, the compliance and governance need to be put in place if you want to have a CSR very successfully run in this country. Now, NGOs. If you look at the NGOs, there are 1.5 million NGOs in this country. 1.5 million. 49% are not even registered. And they employ people from 10 to 12 people. How are they going to make impact at the ground level on delivery? You can count only 4 or 5 NGOs which are pan-India. Rest NGOs are not there at all. And they survive in a very small budget to run their activities. Most of the NGOs have been set up with an emotional aspect of the leader saying, "Humko kuch social service karna hai." Then he comes and set up an NGO. Just like me, humko kuch social service karna, so I set up an NGO. But these NGOs do not professionalize. These NGOs don't go pan-India. They don't have system and processes in place. And they solely depend upon donations. And once the donation dry up, the NGOs wind up. This is the real story, and therefore, there is no impact on the CSR spend that has happened in this country. CSR infrastructure is absolutely poor. If you or us want to make a difference, we need to build capacity, we need to build capability, we need to build infrastructure around various NGOs. NGOs need to come up to the level to ensure that these spends take place at the level that is required to be spent. What is the way forward, and how do we manage the entire CSR process as we go forward? It is very clearly we need to understand why a CSR is required, what is the philosophy behind CSR, define the strategy for the corporates, how do you want to do it, align the programs with the strategy, set up a strong implementation process, set up a strong monitoring process, and finally report the reality. And take a reality check all the time, and if the projects are not being impactful, just do away with this project. This is how the corporate CSR can be more professionalized and can be made more impactful and effective. Globally, individuals are also making huge contribution. We had cases of Bill Gates, we have cases of Warren Buffett. They came to India and pleaded, and some of them have actually started doing it. But by and large, the individual high net income people need to be also socially responsible to spend their CSR in a more professional manner than what they are doing today. So, any CSR spend, this criteria need to be done. Is it impactful? Is it measurable? Is it replicable? Is it scalable? And is it sustainable? If it fails in any one of these accounts, that CSR project should not be taken to my mind. It should be dropped at the initial stages. Only when it meets all these criteria, a program and a project should be taken. And that's where you will see the impact happening across the community in this country. Like water, now we are all talking about water nowadays. Like water, everyone must be gentle and strong. Gentle enough to follow the natural paths of the earth, and strong enough to rise and reshape the world. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can just convey this message in your organization, wherever you're working, that if I'm going to spend on a CSR, I need to be very thoughtful where I'm going to spend, how am I going to spend, and what type of reporting I'm going to do. Thank you very much.
Well, friends, one particular aspect, of course, needless to say, Mr. Kewal Handa is an excellent orator and he holds you literally spellbound. But one particular thing was very close to my heart because I got my own charitable trust. Started exactly in the same manner that you mentioned because we wanted to do something for the society. And mind you, I don't still receive a single rupee donation. Whatever I do is from my own savings when I retire. But we are facing the crunch. So as you rightly said, sir, like me, there are many, many people with good intentions, you know. But sometimes, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So many foundations and charitable trusts like mine are facing difficulties. So, sir, very well made point and very thought-provoking. And let's hope that people in the audience and elsewhere will take note and do something about it. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Satya Brahma. Please.
Well, I just wanted to make a point. Mr. Kewal Handa has been my inspiration for many years. And I'm so grateful that he has come, so also others also, like Dr. Kanodia, Dr. Mukesh Patra. They have never refused when I ask for any presentations. Dr. Batra has also flown down from yesterday night and he has been with us now. So I'm thankful to all of them.
you set? Can I proceed or should I wait? Is this gentleman coming? All right. Well, friends, I was a little flabbergasted when I saw this computer appearing in front of me. You know, I said, oh my God, I have to go through whatever is here to introduce Dr. Batra. And it's always said, you know, so-and-so needs no introduction. But many of them do need introduction. But I can tell you one thing about Dr. Batra. He needs no introduction. Anybody who is anybody, I won't even say anybody who is somebody. Anybody who is anybody in any walk of life in India ought to have heard about Dr. Batra and also experienced Dr. Batra's viewpoints. I mean, to give a description of what he has done, what he is doing, etc., is redundant, except that perhaps I must mention that he's a Padma Shri. Very well earned, sir. I mean, and I think it should be Padma Bhushan and Vibhushan too. Yeah, if not Bharat Ratna, yeah, maybe there's still time for that. You know, I have been a consultant to many healthcare organizations, and Ayurvedic traditional healthcare systems, you know, cry hoarse about the lack of interest shown by the mainstream media and the society to alternative systems of medicine. But I used to tell them, look, yeah, learn a lesson from Dr. Batra. Homeopathy today is synonymous with Batra. You know, somebody said India was Indira, Indira was India. People shout about it. I would say Batra is homeopathy, homeopathy is Batra, right? No exaggerations. If there is somebody at all who has put homeopathy firmly in the landscape of India, it is Dr. Batra. And not just homeopathic treatment, you know, creating awarenesses, you know, going into the depths of diseases and their management and looking at the entire patient rather than the disease condition. And the way he has brought about all this in a very elegant, market-savvy, yes, very human manner is something to be appreciated. And I think he has tapped it all, you know, following close on the heels of Mr. Kewal Handa's talk. He is doing human service. Sir, you are running a wonderful foundation. Not only are you furthering the cause of homeopathy, but you are really helping out the poor. Because as it was jokingly said, for a poor man, Ayurveda is more expensive than allopathy. Let me repeat, for a poor man, Ayurveda is more expensive than allopathy. Yeah, if you can hit me, you can throw stones at me or eggs at me, but it is a fact. An average man cannot afford Panchakarma today. But sir, I think you have made your homeopathic art and science completely affordable, and that speaks volume for your reputation, if I can say